So now the battle is joined. African-American minister Alex G., and also leader of the Justified Anger Coalition in Madison, says busing kids out of the neighborhood is not good. The pairing of schools we implemented back in the 80s for kids on the south side who were predominantly of color has not worked. He says they need to have schools in their neighborhood. Look at results. The achievement gap is an all-time high. We have discipline problems inside the school. He says, no, keep them closer to home. Interestingly enough, Rick Berg, who was on the school board in Madison back in the early 80s, advocated the same thing when they closed Lincoln. He said there were people who overruled him. He and some others on the board wanted to have neighborhood schools. He said there wasn't something magic that would happen if a black student sits next to a white student. But at the time, white liberals said, no, we've got to have integration, not bring back segregation. And the results simply are not that good. You could have all the resources you want, but you've got to have kids closer to their homes. The parents would be more involved. And Reverend G is in agreement with those 80s white conservatives who said the same thing. He also recommended a lot more things, that we have more intervention, have more parents sign up in working groups that we have now, and bring the school closer to home, and have training workshops for entrepreneurs of color, and a host of things that Reverend G advocated. What's interesting, when I talk to white conservatives who read the article, they say they agree with him on everything. So strange bedfellows, perhaps. It's time to look at the schools with an open eye. Kaleem Kerr, longtime of the Urban League, now is heading up efforts to start preschools, was supportive of Madison Prep, which had a different model, a public school charter designed to have more teachers of color and have more students of color for a different set of role models. That was voted down by white liberals. 30 years later, it's time to take a fresh look and listen to Reverend G and his colleagues, and those you didn't listen to 30 years ago. Maybe they had a good idea then and a good idea now. My 2 cents. My 2 minutes are brought to you by Edge Construction and Capital Consultants. Bill McCoshen, lobbyist, gets things done downtown in a hurry. We can argue about it tomorrow morning on the radio on 92.1 FM at 8 o'clock. See you then.